Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today I just had this like random idea about how my skin has been changing now that I've been aging. I'm now in my 30s, and how differently I do my makeup now that I'm in my 30s. Like when I think about how I did my makeup like 10 years ago, it is drastically different. Even 5 years ago, like my skin and my makeup techniques and what I look for in products are so different. I'm basically not using any powders on my face today, except for some eyeshadow. And yeah, and this isn't saying that like being in your 30s or 40s is like old. It's just recognizing that your skin is starting to show the first signs of age and change, just general changes and just general. It's the general. So if you're doing your makeup and all of a sudden you're just like, this is not hitting the same. This is not what I'm here for. I'm looking cakey. I'm looking kind of old. This just isn't working. Then you could take some of the tips and tricks that I have in this video and maybe it'll help you out. Something that I found really interesting when I was kind of curating all the products to recommend in this video is that a lot of them are from French brands. So like there's Dior, there's Embryolisse, there's Chanel. What else is there? There's Violet FR, there's Givenchy. So I feel like there's something to be said about that. And there's lots of different like natural looking, glowy makeup looks that are designed for someone who is starting to notice the first signs of aging in their skin. But I feel like the French really got it down. So it's just like an interesting point that I want to make here in the introduction is that there's a lot of French brands. So anyways, without further ado, if you're interested, then just keep on watching. So I feel like I never start videos with my skincare. It's kind of boring. It takes up a lot of time, but I feel like for this particular video, it's really important because not only is this type of skincare you're using in general, but as you're starting to age, the type of skincare you use is really important, not only just for your skin's overall health and aging gracefully, but how your makeup wears has a lot to do with the skincare that you're using. So how I've been prepping my skin for a while now, and I feel like it has been working for me really well, is just going in with an essence. So I'm going in with the Rhode Glazing Milky essence, and I find that it's super moisturizing. It makes my skin like plump and ready for any other moisturizers that I may put on top of it. And I don't feel like it clogs my pores or makes me greasy throughout the day. It's just a really, really lovely product. I feel like essences are really overlooked in Western skincare, but it's just, you just have to use an essence. That's all I'm really saying. Next for skin, if you're new here, I'm always going on about the Embryolisse Lait Creme Concentrate. And as you see, I'm pretty much out of this, so I bought another one. And while I was on the website, I noticed that they had just launched a new product, and so I picked it up as well. So I'm going to be using that today. And it's the Radiant Complexion Cream in Apricot Glow. So it's like this bright orange gel facial cream that's supposed to, what does it say? This gel cream is applied like a moisturizer all over the face, including the eye contour, for an instant healthy golden glow. And it's apparently supposed to depuff and make your face look really radiant. So I'm going to use this as my moisturizer today. So as you see, very radiant, but it sheers out. So going back to the skincare part of the prepping for this makeup, I find that a really moisturized base will allow the makeup to blend together effortlessly and not look cakey in any way. What I will say about this cream in particular is that if you are sensitive to fragrance in any sort of way, I would steer clear from it, to be completely honest, because it literally smells like it's just flowers. Like not in a gross way, but if you're sensitive to something like that, or if your skin's super reactive, yeah. Apparently, I think, what did the box say? Skincare benefits. Detoxifying and moisturizing formula with nasturtium nasturtium flower extract and hyaluronic acid. Smooths refined skin texture, reduces dark circles and puffiness. Universal apricot shade developed with an expert makeup artist that melts naturally with the skin for an instant healthy golden glow. So that's the skin prep. I like to let it just kind of sit for a little bit. And while it's doing that, I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. This is the eye cream. I love the way this smells so much more. It's kind of like a lemon balm in a way. Such a gorgeous eye cream. I feel like I started my point in a million different ways with the skincare, but yeah. So as we age, no matter what your skin type is, you get dehydrated a lot easier, so makeup will appear a lot more present / make you look older. And we're here to age gracefully and not look cakey and emphasize any type of fine lines that might be forming, etc. So especially under the eye, what I've noticed has been happening to my skin is that fine lines are forming, and there's not really a lot you can do about that. But it can get emphasized if your skin is dry and you're putting on too much makeup. So a really important thing to do is to make sure you really have everything just moisturized and ready to go, and with products that are actually gonna like help your skin. You know what I mean? While all of that sits and kind of like soaks into my skin to make sure I'm as moisturized as possible, I'm gonna do my brows. I feel like some issues do arise from how you're doing your brows as you age. So filling them in too much could be your problem. And so going for a little bit more of a natural look might be a better option. If you're like, oh, I don't really have any brows to just do a clear brow gel, like I need to fill them in, maybe try doing a tinted brow gel. Because one of the reasons your face might be looking just not how you want it to when you do your makeup is because you're putting too heavy of a brow for how your skin is aging and changing. I hope that just talking about skincare made sense. I don't feel like I'm as eloquent when I talk about skincare. I'm like, just do it. I'm not the most loquacious person when it comes to talking about skincare. So everybody's skin ages differently. And that's the really tricky part, especially in your 30s and 40s. Like everything you did the decade before really starts to show up. And so I'm not at that point yet. A lot of people in their late 30s say that like you wake up one day and then all of a sudden the makeup products that you've been using for how many ever years just all of a sudden don't look good on you, and you know, it's almost like you have to like relearn how to do your makeup. I'm not necessarily to that point yet, but I have been noticing like little things here and there. And definitely doing my eyebrows later has been one of them, because I feel like this is where I'm aging the most, is like on my eyelids almost. So I feel like my skin is doing pretty well for my age comparatively. And I think a lot of it has to do with, I got into skincare in my early 20s because I was working at an Aveda salon. And so I was working a lot with skincare, really nourishing natural ingredients, and really figured out what my skin needed, because I was always oily before. I was just so oily. And I found out that it was due to being dehydrated. And so the more I hydrated and locked it in with moisture, the less oily I became. So that's where a lot of my skincare and what I use for my makeup and how I do my makeup, that's really where it comes from. So it's really unique to you. Back then, skincare wasn't as like trendy or whatever as it is now. So I feel like that really gave me a step up when it comes to the health of my skin in my 30s. Taking care of your skin is so important, and it's the only way that your makeup is gonna look good in the long run. I think that's just a really long-winded way of me trying to say that. Okay, that's enough rambling about that. Let's just get into makeup, because I feel like I can just talk about it better. A product that I have been using literally for years, that as my skin has aged, and like, mind you, my skin, even though it's doing really well in the like aging department, I feel like my skin 5 years ago is so different than my skin now. Like, things lay on my skin differently, things wear differently, longevity is different, like it's just all different. But one of the base products that has literally stood the test of time is the Nars Tinted Moisturizer. I love this. I love this. Right now I'm wearing the shade Finland, which is light 1. And it has SPF 30 in it too. So that is a really good thing to have in your skincare routine, is making sure you're wearing your SPF, because the sun be killing us. Put this kind of all over. I just take about 2 little pumps onto my fingertips and then go in with a sponge and just kind of work it all over the face. Yeah, this has literally stood the test of time. It never looks like cakey. It never like breaks apart other products. It works with powders. It works with creams. We can mattify it and we can make it even more dewy than it is now. But look how that's sitting. Yeah, that's a really gorgeous, that Embryolisse. Ooh, never steers me wrong, honestly. So this Nars Tinted Moisturizer, actual years. Like, I've been using this since I think I was like 24 or something. And that was 7 years ago. So yeah, I've been loving this for about 7 years now, and it's the most repurchased base product in my makeup collection ever. But look at that. Ooh. So you could keep it right here, but my personal makeup preferences, I really like glow. I really like a radiant complexion, and I feel like it does bring youth to your face. And so I'm gonna go in with a new to me product today. This is the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. I got this in the shade 2. I was hesitant to buy it at first because I'm like, you know, I have the Oric Glowless and I have the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but when I started to see people use it, I was like, okay, it looks like it's something special. Just taking 1 pump on the back of my hand here, and I'm gonna go in with my foundation brush. Just kind of work that into the brush because you don't want any globs on your cheeks. And I'm just gonna start at the high points here. Kind of tap it in so you don't disturb any of the base makeup. And this is one of those products that you can put into your foundation, under your foundation, use as a highlighter on top of base products. But I like to do it right after my foundation. I think it's super, super pretty. It does have that kind of Dior floral perfume smell. So that's what it looks like on the back of my hand. Kind of spread out. I saw Andrea Ali use this, and it just looked so beautiful on her. And if you're not new here, then you know that my favorite type of makeup product is kind of like a multifaceted liquid illuminator that has like a skin tint to it. So you see, it's sheerer than the Oric Glowless, but I feel like the way that it blends out is a lot like the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but it has almost like a more refined reflect to it as I'm looking in the viewfinder. I really wish the sun was out so you could really see how glowy this is, but it never looks glittery. And also a difference between this and the Hollywood Flawless Filter is that this kind of dries down a little bit. Like, the shine doesn't go away, but it does have a little bit of a dry down. So there is a little bit more longevity. And so with that, I feel like if you're a person that has larger pores, that this would be more compatible than the Hollywood Flawless Filter for you, because the Hollywood Flawless Filter does stay pretty tacky and emollient. Yeah, that is the Forever Glow Star Filter by Dior. And notice how I'm taking this kind of under my eyes here. This is an old makeup artist trick where the illumination is going to reflect light, creating the illusion of brightness, so you don't have to use as much makeup on top of it. So like not as much concealer or color corrector, because that light is making it look brighter. Oh, please bear with me. I'm having a really hard time talking today. I don't know what's wrong with me. So that's the Complexion so far. And technically I've only used 3. Well, on top of my skincare, I only used 2 products. So like, not counting my brows. So like, that's honestly a really beautiful place that you could just stop and be like, this is my natural look. But we're gonna go in with a very natural bronzer that I've been obsessed with lately. This is by Ciele. And this is the Sculpt and Protect with SPF 30. And I have this in the shade Light 1. And I'm not really one to say, oh, just draw it on your face. But with this product, I think it's emollient enough that it's not gonna disturb the rest of your makeup. One thing I have to say is that it doesn't really roll down. Like when I like twist it, I don't know. So I'm gonna use the same brush that I applied the product from Dior with. Just wiped it off a little bit and just blend it into my skin. Notice how it's not really sculpting, but it's just melting into my skin. Because like it or not, using a contour product can make you look more makeup-y and age you, which we don't really want that. So we're just gonna do a light little blend out to add more color to the face, a little bit of dimension. And literally so easy. It's just so good. It's such a beautiful product. So if you look at this type of look, it truly is an either or situation, like either like a skin tint or a concealer to spot conceal all over the face with this kind of like natural glowy aging skin friendly makeup routine. But I'm gonna go in with the Givenchy Prisme Libre skin caring concealer. I have this in the shade 120 right now, and we're just gonna do a little bit, like not a lot. So right here, and a little bit where I have darkness on the corner. This is a really nice neutral shade. So I feel like the peachiness in it will get rid of any sort of darkness that is remaining or like peeking through that Dior Luminizer. And this will also help with not putting too much product on that's gonna make you look cakey slash emphasize any sort of fine lines. Notice how I'm going up. That will create the illusion of lift as well, because I do find, like I was talking about earlier, that a lot of my aging is showing up in my eyes, so they are kind of, they're just a little fleshier than they used to be, and that's okay. So that's literally it. And then we'll kind of clean up like in here a little bit. But yeah, that's concealing, that is it. So blush is a tricky one. So I would say that you wanna go for something that is flattering for your skin type. And if you're in your 30s or 40s and you're noticing some changes, maybe your pores, maybe some fine lines, maybe some new texture, who knows? There's so many things that can happen to your skin. But what I like to do is stay away from anything that has any sort of like glitter. I don't want to say pearl, because like a satiny pearl finish in a, like especially a powder blush can be really beautiful and blurring almost, but you want to stay away from any sort of like shimmer or anything like that, because it's going to get into your fine lines and your texture, any type of pores, and it's gonna make your skin not look very nice. So something that I think looks really nice on the way my skin is now and how I would do makeup on anybody who has a little bit more fine lines is a matte cream blush. Color-wise, to each their own, everybody's different. I really like this one from Violette FR. This is her Bisou blush in the shade Louise, and this is very like matte, blends out, it blurs, it's just so pretty. So I like to take it onto the brush here and start higher up, because that will give the appearance of a more sculpted face, at least for my facial structure. So I have a more round facial structure, so if you have a more like square or diamond facial structure, do it more on the apples, but if you are heart-shaped or round, I would say that taking it up will be a little bit more flattering. Or do it however you want, I don't care. Placement isn't as important as texture. So a matte texture on top of this kind of glowy base will not only provide longevity, but the finish will be really youthful and really just healthy skin looking. Another really important tip is to always take your time to kind of blend stuff out. With each new product that you put on your face, just take the time to blend out. And I find that using the tool that you used for your complexion products works the best because it'll blend everything in. Ooh, so I found since, you know, my eyes are changing a little bit, I have to really take care of how I do my eye makeup. I never was one that, at least in the past like 6 years or so, I've never been like a dramatic, complicated eye look kind of person. I have found that, you know, there are a little bit of fine lines, a little bit of discoloration happening, and a little bit of droopiness on the eyelid. So anything that's gonna like sit heavy or chunky on your eye, thicker glitter, thicker pigments, stuff like that, it's, you know, it's not necessarily gonna look bad, but it's not gonna look as good as it used to. So I think a brand that does really sophisticated, kind of ethereal, shimmery looks for aging skin friendly eyelids is Chanel. I think Chanel does an amazing job when it comes to barely there kind of eyeshadows. So I'm gonna go in with the Lumiere Graphique. This was their holiday palette in 2023 as limited edition. I'm not sure if you can get this anymore. I haven't really looked anywhere, but this color story, it's a very like neutral day to night kind of shimmery eye look. There are no mattes in this palette. They're all this like very silky shimmery colors that they're just really, really lovely, and they lay really lovely on the skin. So I'm gonna take this fluffy brush. This is a Morphe E23. And I'm just gonna pat into this kind of peachy one, because we're just gonna do something really, really light on top of this cream bronzer by Ciele that I put down. But yeah, I find that Chanel does the best like light shimmer, very light, very ethereal, barely there, but people will look at your makeup and go, that's really beautiful, you know? But if you're into like Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona kind of eyeshadows, not that you wouldn't like this, but this is definitely like a very targeted audience that Chanel is going for here. You can like both, and you can, no matter what your age is, make both look good, but I do find that this is going to flatter not only any age, but especially us that see our eyes aging. Okay, and so that's all I'm gonna do on my eyes because I want it to be like light and reflect the light in very subtle ways to make them appear younger and brighter. I went ahead and did my eyelashes. I used the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. And just a little tip, if you're applying mascara, I'm only applying it on your top eyelashes. So I have really long, super, super long bottom eyelashes, and unless I'm doing like a really bold eye look, I never put mascara on my bottom eyelashes because I feel like not only does it close my eyes, but it also drags them down. Not physically, but like there's the illusion of my eyes like kind of sagging almost because my eyelashes on my bottom lid are so long. So I want everything to have the appearance of going up, if that makes sense. So I feel like at this step you could apply powder. I don't feel like I need it, but if it was a lot warmer out, I would probably go in with a little bit of loose setting powder and just do like kind of the center of my face where I get a little bit more oily in the warmer months. But anyways, now going on to lips, I don't feel like lip liner has like an age like an age specification or anything like that. I just think it's a really important tool in a makeup bag. And it'll also help define your lips or fill them out if you find that your lips are getting a little more thin. Get a little bit of my lip balm off. I'm going in with the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. I have this in the shade Anywhere Caffeine, because I feel like it's a really good natural color for my lip tone. Because I do find that more contour-y colors that pull more of like a cooler nude, they almost pull like purple on me, and it doesn't look bad, but it's just not my favorite look. And I do prefer something that has a little bit more brown in it. So like anything else with skincare or makeup, it's very personal to you. So lips are a little bit tricky. I find that now that I'm getting older, I don't really want a full pigment lipstick all that much, or any type of matte lipstick all that much. I really prefer something that is either really nourishing or it's lightweight and I don't feel it on my lips at all. Like, it cannot be drying. So what I would recommend, if you're feeling like every time you put on lipstick it doesn't look good, to try something that has some sort of like lightweight appearance, like a soft matte lip balm, lip tint kind of thing, or a nourishing one. There's so many amazing lip formulas on the market right now that are both soft matte or like glossy slash satin slash just lip balm-ish. My current favorite right now is by Chanel. This is the Rouge Coco Balm in the shade Natural Charm. It's a really beautiful brownie nude that it doesn't give a lot of like shine or anything, but it's really, really nourishing. It's not drying at all, and it, no matter what state my lips are in, it always looks good. And the color is just so natural and nice. It's just so perfect. And that's literally it. If you prefer something a little bit more long wearing and matte, I would say the Nars Tinted Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm is a really good contender. This is in the shade Intimate. It's very blurring, very soft, very weightless, and also by Violette FR, the Bisou Balm Sheer Matte Lipstick. I have this in the shade Calisson, and virtually more of a pink version of that, but I would say that this one is even more lightweight. But if you like one formula, you will like the other. It's very much a personal preference, but if you want a little bit more moisture, the Rouge Coco Balm. Yeah, Rouge Coco Balm formula, gorgeous. This goes without saying that I really love glosses and tinted lip balms the most, but if you're looking for more of a lipsticky kind of formula, that ones like these are the way to go. Okay, so that is it. That is the makeup routine that I would recommend anybody who is struggling with their makeup due to their skin changing from age. It's very soft, it's very approachable. I find that you can really mix and match products for more intensity, for more of like a going out look or event makeup type of thing, and also switch it up due to the seasons. So yeah, this is how I do my makeup now that I'm in my 30s. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, or recommendations, please leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!